The City of Waterloo, in cooperation with its many active and inspiring entities, presents Heart for the City, a chance to hear and see what's going on in our city and to meet people who serve you, teach you, entertain you, help you, all neighbors and like you. Make this a city on the move. And now, here's our host, the Honorable Quentin Hart.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us on Heart for the City. I'm Quentin Hart, proud mayor of Waterloo, and we have a great show lined up for you once again. And later, we will have some fun holiday activity suggestions brought to you by a special guest. So let's begin. Forbes magazine ranks cities in various categories. And in July 2015, Waterloo was ranked 49 in the best small places for business and careers category out of the 200 small cities considered. And this year, Waterloo ranked 46 in that same category. And this is a rank that we can be proud of, but I can assure you that all of us who work for you in the city government will not be satisfied until we are the best in the Midwest and until we are number one in that important category. And Forbes rates other areas such as cost of doing business, job growth, education, and although our scores were good, but not as high, we continue to be dedicated to excelling in these rankings as well. And speaking of places of excellence, what better place for living, working, playing, and shopping than our own downtown? And more on this amazing place after this.
On this week's episode of Travel Waterloo, we get a whirlwind tour of our downtown. In order to see what a visitor can experience in downtown Waterloo, Main Street Waterloo's Executive Director Tavis Hall offered us a walking tour of the Main Street District. Before we hit the town, we had to make sure we looked our best. Next, we stopped at El Patron for a quick bite to eat and some conversation.
So it seems like there's a lot of variety here in downtown, especially for restaurants.
Absolutely, we've got an incredibly diverse district, right? We've got an Irish bar, we've got a Jamaican coffee shop, we've got a Mexican restaurant, Thai restaurant, Chinese food restaurant. So we've got a lot down here, and it's always growing.
Did he say something about bars? We'd better check that out.
That's good.
It's really good.
God damn it, that's good.
Lucky for us, Jameson's also has great food and dessert. And while we're talking about dessert, we had to hit up CU for some of their homemade specialties. As we continued our walk, we checked out some of the signature retail in downtown.
So let's talk about Tri-City.
Yeah.
Been in business.
They've been an institution in Waterloo for going on 35 years. And Harry's downtown now, and we're excited to have them.
And at the end of the day, we couldn't help but treat ourselves. For more information about the places we visited today, check out our blog at the award-winning travelwaterloo.com and visit our YouTube channel for past episodes and travel ideas.
When someone or something has come a long way, it means that they have developed, progressed, or even become very successful. And this phrase is more than appropriate in relation to our downtown district. And part of this success is owed to Main Street Waterloo. Their four-point approach of design, economic vitality, organization, and promotions contribute greatly to making downtown a safe and meaningful destination. And here to give us more insight on what is being done in our downtown and success and all of those areas is Nick Hedrick, Interim Director for Main Street Waterloo. So welcome, Nick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for having me.
All right, it's our pleasure. But before we get into this amazing organization of Main Street, can you tell us a little bit about who is Nick?
I've been with Main Street for about 12, 13 years now. I actually
wow.
owned a business downtown. It was the Monica's before it was the Volks House. And that's how some of
I
the
frequented there
yes, I
several
do remember
times,
that.
yes.
Volunteers for Main Street initiated me into the Main Street organization, and I
Okay.
haven't stopped since.
All right. And when we talk about Main Street, what is Main Street?
Main Street is pretty much an organization that is all about revitalization of the downtown district, highlighting everything that we have to offer in our area here.
All right. And with that, but is it a street? Is it 4th Street or?
That's a really good question. It's a misconception with a lot of people that think that 4th Street is our main street. Our district is one of the largest that we have in Iowa.
Wow.
A lot of people think of our district as all the way to Young Arena and all the way to 11th Street sometimes.
Wow, that's
so
incredible.
it's quite a large district.
Right. And you indicated while you were the owner of a business that you got engaged with Main Street 12, 13 years ago. So I'm thinking that there's not hundreds of people on staff. You probably have volunteers. And if you do, what type of role will volunteers play?
Our organization is entirely volunteer driven. We only have 3 paid staff, and the rest of the organization is ran by volunteers. The board of directors is volunteers, and all of the councils are volunteer driven.
What are some things that, like, would a volunteer help set up Friday Lou? What would a volunteer?
It's
It can
kind
be
of how
anything.
whatever a volunteer would like to do. We have stuff anywhere from business recruitment, events, setting up, even fundraising for us.
And Main Street also is, you have a board that oversees the Main Street program?
Correct, that is correct.
Okay. And with that, there's a 4-point approach to Main Street. Can you kind of break that down? I know number 1 is promotions and marketing. Number 2 is the organizational council, and then you have an economic vitality, and the 4th one, design council.
That is correct. You're very good at that. So one of the
I got notes. Here's the notes.
So our first one is for our Main Street is promotions and marketing, which is one of our most important. It's the one that puts on all of the events, from Friday Lou, Taste of Lou, all of those, even our Funky Junkaloo that happens in March. Organization Council is the one that is responsible for recruiting the volunteers, recruiting our board members, and doing our fundraising. Economic vitality is a very important one for downtown Waterloo because we need to fill those storefronts.
Right.
We want to bring businesses downtown and highlight how effective that business can be in our downtown district.
Right.
And then, see, I even blanked on one too.
Economic vitality and design council.
Yep, design. So design is one that kind of has the large scope of the district. We want to keep everything in line with the same theme, the same style.
Right.
And they're in charge of that, making sure all the signs and the buildings and stuff look somewhat the same and cohesive.
And it's interesting, and what people don't understand, that Main Streets have transformed downtowns throughout the entire state of Iowa as well as around the country. I had the fortunate opportunity to travel with the Great Places program several years ago, and it was just very eye-opening for me to see that the role Main Street has played in completely transforming the look, the feel, the energy in downtowns across the state. But one of the things I am thinking of, so you do have a stake on how it looks downtown. And one area that I want to talk about is the 4th Street Bridge.
Yeah, isn't that a great renovation?
It is.
We were so happy when that came to council, and we advocated for that to be kept. I mean, it's such an iconic landmark in Waterloo. I mean, if you look at Waterloo in any advertising or any pictures, that bridge is in there. And the crew that did that, and thank you to the city for approving it, I mean, it looks amazing.
And so that's kind of, I won't say it's kind of like a design council concept, but one area you mentioned also is the economic vitality, and you have programs that bring people downtown. And just to highlight, one is a Shop Saturday, or
Shop Small Saturday, yeah.
Okay.
So this is a program that we're doing now from, it was started Small Business Saturday, so the day after Black Friday, and goes until the 23rd of December. We programmed the open storefronts. So thank you for JSA and Nelson Properties for opening up those storefronts and letting us bring in some pop-up vendors. Pop-up vendors are those individuals that might not have had a brick and mortar storefront somewhere. Like Goods is one of them. They actually got a group of people together that do the same type of stuff, and all it went into one storefront.
Right.
So it's a great event.
And so you have wonderful partners downtown. You mentioned JSA, you mentioned the Nelsons, and the many other property owners
yes,
and
definitely.
people that are willing to invest downtown. But can those pop-up vendors, can they be permanent, or they're just?
That's the goal. I mean, we
Okay.
would love for
Right.
those pop-up vendors to say, yes, let's sign that lease
Okay.
and let's be a part of downtown all the time.
And to ping on you real quickly, what do you think a renovated convention center, so not about the political side of it, but what would a renovated convention center, hotel, courtyard, what would all those things do to our downtown?
It would revolutionize it. I mean, bringing all those people from an outside market that aren't familiar with Waterloo is going to be huge.
Right.
I mean, and that's just going to, so many more tax dollars are going to flow into Waterloo
Right.
just by those conferences and stuff like that they hold. And plus, the hotel, motel tax and all that type of stuff. I mean, look at what happening is on the west side now. Renovating those two properties is going to be huge for downtown.
And it's going to be advantageous for every business owner. It's going to be
Oh, yes.
advantageous for some of the housing that we have down there, apartments we have. Just an incredible,
Oh, yes.
incredible opportunity. And taking a look at our downtown, like we mentioned at the beginning, the last 15, 20 years, and seeing the reinvestment of all of those areas is very special with our historic tax
yes.
credits. What was crazy, I had a chance to do an interview on Headline News, and it was about trying to save our historic tax credits through Congress and through the Senate. And it was amazing to see they were showing before and after pictures on national television about the city of Waterloo and those transitions. So it's a very special time
It is.
in downtown Waterloo. Anything else you want us to know?
No, we're always looking for volunteers. We're happy to have anybody. You can get a hold of us at 319-291-2038 or at the mainstreetwaterloo.org.
Tell me that number again.
319-291-2038.
And that website again.
mainstreetwaterloo.org.
It's something about branding, but thanks, Nick, for taking time to tell us about the incredible efforts going on behind the scenes in Waterloo, and one of which many may not have been aware of. From now until December 23rd, Main Street Waterloo will be hosting the Shop Downtown Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., which we talked about throughout the downtown district. Not only will you be able to shop at a variety of existing downtown retail stores, there will be 10 pop-up shops selling antiques, furniture, home decor, holiday gifts, and more. And a couple of things to note. First, be sure to revisit the pop-up shops throughout the holiday season and encourage them to have permanent stores. But many will be adding new items to their inventory each week. And second, some of the shops will be open additional hours or available by appointment. So check Main Street Waterloo's Facebook page for more information. Members of the military may see a lot of action, but one Marine veteran and former police officer is fulfilling a vital service to fellow veterans and their families. And because of him, there's plenty of positive action. So stay with us and we'll learn just what this activity is all about.
People decide where they're going to college based on a lot of different reasons. At the University of Northern Iowa, I found the support I needed to discover my potential. From applying for a life-changing internship to exploring employment opportunities after graduation, my professors were with me every step of the way. They were as invested in my success as I was. I came to UNI to follow my dream of being a shoe and clothing designer. And because I chose UNI, my dream is becoming more of a reality every day.
Many of our servicemen and women return home from military service with physical or mental disabilities, difficult family situations, financial and emergency issues, but perhaps a general lack of knowledge about their rights and benefits as veterans. And of the many applicants applying to lead the Veterans Affairs Office in Black Hawk County, our guest was confirmed unanimously by the Board of Supervisors and came with, as the chairman said, an impeccable resume. And his work with veterans was so impressive that commission members and about a dozen representatives of local veterans groups lobbied the County Board of Supervisors, claiming that he was woefully underpaid. Wow. Maybe come do that with the mayor. Anyway, that's another story. But it is with great pride that I have the opportunity to welcome back to our show the Director of Blackhawk County Veterans Affairs, Kevin Dill. So first of all, Kevin, I want to thank you for your service as a veteran, a police officer, and for outstanding leadership on behalf of our local veterans. And we certainly cannot say enough about this. So welcome back to Hartford City.
Thanks, Mayor.
You know, I kind of gave like a preview already, a paragraph directly devoted to you. But once again, tell us, how did you become involved with Veterans Affairs?
When we were living in St. Louis, I worked for the Veterans Affairs, the Department of Veterans Affairs in law enforcement, and then at their regional office while I was going to grad school. And then when my wife got transferred home, there was an opportunity at the Blackhawk County VA office after the director retired, and somebody had approached me, said, "Hey, you have a lot of background and knowledge in VA matters. Would you be interested in applying for that job?" So I did.
All right. I forgot to say, and you originally from
Right here.
Waterloo, and you went to what high school?
East Waterloo.
All right, all right. No, I won't go there. But yes, congratulations. Even greater to have you. I'm just messing up right now. I need to stop while I'm behind. But last year you implemented a program called Adopt a Vet, and now called Christmas for a Veteran. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah. The reason I did that is, if you think about it, there are the graves of young Americans who answer the call to service just surround the earth, especially in Arlington, who gave their life so that you and I could have life.
Right.
And I thought there's something that we can do to give back, some kind of a sacrifice. So we have a number of veterans here in Blackhawk County who maybe underemployed, unemployed, going through a rough time, PTSD from the service. They have issues, and they're in and out of work. So I thought, what can we do at Christmas time to help those who helped us? And so we started this program of having community members adopt a veteran for Christmas.
Oh, wow, wow. If I were interested in supporting that or giving, is there an opportunity for that?
Well, we're actually, we're going to be delivering the gifts for all the veterans on Monday.
Oh, wow.
So if you wanted to, an opportunity would be to come help us wrap the gifts next Monday on the 18th and help deliver them is where we're at.
Okay, okay. And, you know, you mentioned the portion about Christmas. You talked about some services throughout the year, but you also have some food pantry, I believe.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you know, I thought about, you know, what sacrifice, giving back. So I believe that every veteran is entitled to at least one more can of corn or one more can of green beans for what they were willing to do. So we had a number of veterans who go to the food pantry once a month, but it just wasn't enough for them. And so we established a food pantry. We serve about 30 veterans a month. And when we run low, we put on our Facebook page, and the community here in the area, they just overwhelmingly come down and support our food pantry.
Right. And, you know, I probably should have asked this question before, but after we talk about food pantry, you know, there's also an emphasis on physical health. And so gym memberships or opportunities for people?
Yeah, so one of the other things we notice is veterans with PTSD. Sometimes they get into a stage of their life where they just sit, take their medicine, and there's been studies that shown if veterans just get out and have some physical activity. So we held a fundraiser and raised a lot of money. And so now a veteran who's been clinically diagnosed with PTSD, service connected through the service for that PTSD, they can go to any gym here in Waterloo, Cedar Falls, and we'll pay their gym membership.
Right. And I know I was supposed to ride a bike ride this summer.
But it rained. It was cold. It rained.
You know, and I was ready. When it got the wheels pumped up.
It was cold and rainy that day, so.
You know, I had talked to my wife about pulling up the car around the corner but that's another story again. but just overall, you mentioned some things about some of the issues that veterans are experiencing. Can you talk about some of those briefly?
Well, in our area, a number of the younger veterans coming home, their issue is just a lack of camaraderie. So what we're doing now is, in the Marine Corps, for all the Marines that are listening, one thing we're taught is to seek out, close with, and destroy the enemy. So I'm thinking about seek out, close with, and establish camaraderie. Seek out, close with, and disseminate information. Go to them instead of having them come to us. And so right now we're working on programs next year of we go out and meet the veterans where they're at and establish events down on Main Street, Waterloo, where all the veterans get together and we run through the main streets of Waterloo like we were in the service and go to the restaurants and the bars and establish camaraderie. Or we take veterans on kayaking trips, fishing trips, hunting trips, things like that for the young vets that just want some camaraderie.
Right. And in relation, so you have the vet, but when a vet goes to active duty or to service or fighting a war, they're not just going by themselves, right? There's also a family
Yes, sir.
that's integral as well.
Yes, so it's not only the veteran who is sacrificing and giving their life, but it's their family who's back home trying to raise their children on their own, who sometimes find themselves missing their father or their mother or their husband or their wife tremendously, and it causes effects on them. And so we not only have to reach out to the veteran, but to those family members. And so we do work with a lot of spouses. Even though we're Veterans Affairs and a guy in active duty is not typically a veteran, we still have a lot of spouses call us and say, is there some way that we can plug into for some services? So we try to reach out to them as well.
All right. And in Black Hawk County, do you know the number of veterans we have, or Waterloo?
The census tells us, whether I don't know how accurate it is, the census tells us that here in Black Hawk County we have about 9,000 vets, but that's from 2010.
Right.
I don't know what we have today. In our office in the last 2 years we've seen about 5,000, but I think there's still another 3,000 or 4,000 out there that we haven't seen.
Okay. And then really quickly, we hear talk about post-traumatic. Can you just really quickly touch on that and then let folks know how they could connect with services?
Sure. So a person who serves in the service, whether it's deployed in a combat zone or not deployed, there are certain stressors that all military go through, and some of them establish this anxiety disorder or post-traumatic stress disorder, and when they come home, the services sometimes fail them because they can't get in soon enough.
Right.
And so what we do is we work with them in our office of getting other Marines, other sailors, other soldiers, other Navy, other Air Force, Coast Guard, who have experienced it as well, who is able to talk to that veteran and develop some camaraderie. Right. So if you're feeling that out there in this community, there's a place for you to go. If you don't want to go to the VA hospital, you can come to our office and we will connect you with someone who is experiencing the same thing as you.
All right. And telephone numbers or location?
Sure. It's 319-291-2512, 319-291-2512, 1407 Independence Avenue in Waterloo. We're there Monday through Friday. The hours are 8 to 4:30, but most people know that our office, we are in there as early as 7 a.m. and we stay as late as any veteran needs to get there.
All right. So, Kevin, once again, the Black Hawk County Veterans Affairs Commission is inviting the general public to purchase holiday gifts for needy or elderly veterans, widows, and their families. It's called Christmas for a Veteran, originally called Adopt a Vet. And it started last year, and the county veterans officials are coming back for more veterans and more donors. And Kevin can tell us how we can help in this contribution.
Well, right now, you can still, if you still want to donate some money, we create a gift bag for those veterans who came in after Christmas and say, hey, I didn't know about this. Well, here's a gift bag for you. Or if you want to come down and help us wrap the gifts, because we have thousands of gifts. The city of Waterloo adopted, what are we, about 300 veterans.
Wow. And the contributions during this time, but also it's not just limited to the holidays, it's throughout the year.
Throughout
the
year.
Support and help.
Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir.
Thank you so much. But just to note, discover what life was like in the trenches of World War I and about the famous Christmas truce in 1914. Explore technological advances that came to define the conflict, including the tank, airplane, machine gun, and trench warfare. In addition, learn about the Forgotten War directly from Iowans who served and discover how the Korean War shaped the Cold War and current foreign affairs. Photographs, documents, interviews, and objects will reveal what happened in Korea and why, and all are at the Sullivan Brothers Iowa Veterans Museum.
Discover your past, present, and future at the Grant Museum District. Explore and play at the Bludorn Science Imaginarium. This interactive science center provides fun, hands-on exhibits and live science demonstrations. Visitors can explore more than 90 different exhibits and marvel at the aquariums and enclosures that are home to a variety of amphibians, fish, reptiles, snakes, and arachnids. Enjoy both permanent and temporary exhibits at the Grant Museum of History and Science. Take in a planetarium show and learn all about the history of the Cedar Valley. Marvel at the Victorian elegance of the Snowden House and the Rensselaer Russell House Museum. Visit the Sullivan Brothers Iowa Veterans Museum and take in its traditional and interactive displays. Veteran stories are told throughout the museum's mini theaters, interactive maps, dog tag stations, and more. Visit gmdistrict.org for details, hours, and rates.
Well, 'tis the season to be jolly, as the song says, and I am trying to fulfill that season mantra. Of course, we all need a little bit of help when it comes to this time of the year, and every Christmas, good little boys and girls are paid a secret visit to by the ageless Saint Nick, or Santa Claus. And here to make the annual pre-Christmas visit is Santa himself. So welcome, Santa. Welcome, Santa. so
it's good to be here.
Well, appreciate it. So just so you know, the city attorney has drafted an affidavit stating that I have been living a life of conduct that is deemed proper for a peaceful and law-abiding individual, at least since last Christmas. But how was your trip to Waterloo, and what is there for a well-behaved citizens of all ages?
Well, first of all, it's always fun to fly into Waterloo because it's such a great place to visit, and to live, I should add.
Absolutely.
So we have a lot of things coming up in Waterloo that I want to talk about. One of them is the Noon Year's Party coming up at the Phillips Youth Pavilion. And it's an early celebration that boys and girls can go. There'll be fun snacks, activities, programs, games, and then there's going to be a New Year's Eve countdown where the ball will drop, and that'll be happening at noon on Sunday. And all this takes place on the same day at December 31st. That's a Sunday, and it's from 11 to 1 p.m. And it's free to members of the pavilion. There's a $5 charge if you're not a member, but that also gets you all-day admission into the pavilion itself. So it's quite a good deal. And you can call the pavilion for more information at 291-4490 to register. 291-4490 to register.
All right, great information. And there are great seasonal opportunities for families at the Grout Museum District. Holding a winter-free day on December 30th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And all museum sites will be open to the public. So get out of the cold and take advantage of the open to the public hours at the Rensselaer Russell House Museum and the Snowden House. And enjoy science demos at the Imaginarium. Then head over to the Grout Museum for a planetarium show. And after that, spend some time exploring the Sullivan Brothers Iowa Veterans Museum. The planetarium shows and science demonstrations will be held at 11 a.m., 1:30 p.m., and 3 p.m. And remember that admission is free at all sites. For more information, call 234-6357 or visit .gmdistrict.org.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. But if you like the excitement of Black Hawk hockey, you don't want to miss the upcoming events they have. On December 29th, the Blackhawks are going to host Lincoln, and that's going to be followed on the 31st by Des Moines, and on January 6th for Central Illinois. And what can be more fun than Black Hawk hockey?
Absolutely. And did you know that there are free tours at Single Speed Brewing? You can register online and secure a spot. Or if online registration doesn't fill up, on-location registration will reopen 1 hour prior to the start of the tour. So go to www.singlespeedbrewing.com/events or call 883-3604s and tours every day at 2 and 3 p.m.
At the Waterloo Community Playhouse, And the Black Hawk Children's Theater, they're going to be having another season of exciting performances coming up, and I think everyone will want to check out that. They can go to wcpbhct.org, or you can just Google Waterloo Community Playhouse, and that'll find you that information. And it looks like a great year for plays there.
And I know Christmas and the entire holiday season is about family, it's about giving thanks, but don't forget the shopping, dining, and entertainment venues all around our city. And you are in store for great times this year in Waterloo. The pop-up shops will be open through Saturday the 23rd.
Okay, well, thank you, Mayor Hart.
All right, thank you.
So, but I've got to get on my way now. We got to get the sleigh all greased up and ready to go, and make sure that reindeer all get. So, I want to say thanks for having me.
All right, happy holidays,
We will
Merry
see
Christmas.
you. All right, yeah. And Merry Christmas to you and to all, and have a good night.
All right, thank you. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Connect to a high-demand career in nursing. Nurses touch lives every day, providing care, comfort, and compassion. At Hawkeye Community College, you'll learn under faculty who are leaders in their profession. Gain hands-on experience in Hawkeye simulation labs and on-site clinicals, acquiring skills in all patient scenarios. You'll be prepared for the first day on the job and whatever comes your way.
So many of the nurses I've worked with have come from Hawkeye, and they're just amazing, and that is what I want to be, is just like them.
Another great activity is a blood drive in conjunction with the Discovery Days program. Christmas in the Trenches. The blood drive will be in the Sullivan Brothers Iowa Veterans Museum lobby, and all donors will receive a free Explorer Pass that can be used for a return visit. A great Christmas gift from you to those in need. Still looking for something to do? There is so much going on indoors and outdoors in Waterloo. For more entertainment, shopping, eating, and more, go to travelwaterloo.com for a complete listing of many exciting activities, places, and venues. And you can also find much of this information on the City of Waterloo website, and that's cityofwaterlooiowa.com under the Visitors tab. Well, that's our show. And we welcome your suggestions and feedback. And remember to tell others that those episodes are available for viewing on the City Waterloo website, and that's cityofwaterlooiowa.com once again. And you will find it in the section that contains current and past city meetings. So please join us next time, and thanks for watching Heart for the City. And until then, I think you'll agree, it's a great day to be in Waterloo.